Bjarne Strostrup himself had the paper, Remember the Vasa, where he described that too many things come to the language without looking at the whole picture.
Yeah.
The things themselves make sense. They look awesome for them. They are also awesome, but are they so awesome that they fit for everybody?
Hello everyone and welcome back to Kodsnack. I'm Fredrik as usual, and today I have with me for the third time, I think?
The second time.
Second time? No.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was two sessions.
We
had one chat and we split.
Oh yeah, it was a nice long one. Yes, welcome back, Harald. It's really nice when you make the introduction so long that you forget to actually mention the name. It's also kind of a strange thing to do. Anyway, nice to have you back, finally.
Yes, nice to be here.
And we have some really interesting topics you suggested. And the first one was a bit about the freelancing market right now, which I feel like that's really been sort of in the air, that freelancing is not exactly what it has been before. I don't know if we talked about it very much in the actual podcast, so that was an interesting topic to me.
Yes, it is. So I'm a freelancer since I basically started as a freelancer. So if people go back and listen to the very first episode where I talk about this, then there is that I spent a lot of time basically being my own company.
Yeah.
In my career. And in Sweden, I started to freelance 2019, I think, when I felt comfortable that I understand enough Swedish to take communication with Skatteverket.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was just thinking the companies are probably not a problem.
Yeah, so before this, I was a little bit, I don't know how the law situation is and so.
Yeah.
But then I took the step back to freelance, basic. And yeah, it's what does freelance and consultant market even mean these days, or actually at all? What is a consultant?
That's a pretty good question, actually.
Because you have companies that have employed people, they hire out as consultant. Sometimes they come directly from school or university, and these companies source them basically at the final events from university.
Yep.
And so on. And then you have all the way up to McKinsey and Co. consultant, where you pay horrendous prices for PowerPoint presentations.
Yes.
Where sometimes people ask, why do you even pay for this at all? But probably to have somebody needs an excuse for something, and everything in between. So what is a consultant? And also, and when you're a freelancer, yeah, okay, you're a consultant. But what does it mean?
Yeah.
So there is no clear definition. And when I started doing this in Austria, it was, as a consultant, you had the knowledge in a certain field. So you read all the books, you applied a lot of things, and then you brought this knowledge to a company for 6 weeks, 3 months, but usually not much longer.
Yeah.
And you applied this, you were there time and you delivered, and then probably came again 2-3 times to follow up on things, but then you were done. When I came in Sweden and I had my very first consultant gig, which was as an employed consultant, because I started as an employed consultant to say, hey, see different companies and so on. I went there and thought they expect me to be productive, and I had an onboarding like an employee person. So, hey, yeah, not much happens on the first day, and I was super nervous, because I was from my time in Austria as a consultant, every hour counts.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And here was, and I didn't understand actually what was going on. So understanding that this was more so stuffing, right? Adding additional pair of hands.
Yeah.
It took me a while. So you have all these different flavors of consultants. And then the market is a little bit, interesting also to the history we had in IT, that for some years companies were valued by headcount, which makes no sense at all.
Yes.
But this was how the market was.
Yeah.
So at a certain point in time, this company grew like crazy, and this brought in a lot of people into IT development and around that. Basically just, I can earn money there, so I take this job. So now they are all very unhappy, probably, because
it's not
if you
easy
don't
money
do
anymore.
this also on the weekend, it probably is a problem.
Yeah.
and this had of course also effects to the consultant market and how many consultants exist, and the most insane thing, how many consultant brokers do we have
It's a long list
available. And that's a really long list. And then you think, how many companies do we have? How many brokers do we have? But it's also with headhunting also for employed positions, right? There is basically no employed position where I don't get from three different places, hey, or we are looking for this and that. And then it turns out it's the same place. But you get the very same request from three different locations.
Yeah.
And this has been always like this. And then the industry says, look, there are so many openings, we need so many people, and double the numbers of people in the IT every 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And this is the interesting situation. And I had now time between contracts, like you say, and I had the possibility to deep dive in this and look into this and really see, okay, it's really interesting. It's competitive because we have all these companies with employed consultants that don't know how to put them now. So they're really dumping the price, which is, you need to understand the pricing of a consultant if you run your own company, right? I often worked at places and the employed people say, you are so expensive. And then when I list it out, hey, you know what you are costing? What is the part you don't see? The taxes the company pays, the taxes they pay on their side, that they even listed on the brutto.
Yeah,
exactly. You get the additional insurance, additional pension, the time you're not here because you have paid vacation, and I calculate the hour price.
Yeah.
Then people made huge eyes, right? Oh, I cost so much money.
Yeah.
And the last year, these prices, when headcount was important, these prices exploded. And the consultant prices didn't catch up in the same way.
Oh, yeah. So it was actually cheaper with consultants. Even cheaper. To some extent, it seems at some point that consultant is not like it has been years ago. Oh, you have the higher fees, but you need to calculate because you need your own pension plans, you need your own vacation plans. If you don't work, there is no money. Yeah,
that works a little bit different, and you have to calculate with time between assignments. Or if you're in the consultant business where say I deal with knowledge, then you need to take several weeks to look into a topic, experiment around, outline the stuff, creating a teaching plan, how to bring this knowledge to a place. This is then also part of the payment. But but this is not the case anymore, right? So this kind of consultant seems not to be requested at all. So if it is, then it's more this staffing business at the moment.
Yeah.
And the staffing business is very complicated so I'm not the only senior consultant. What does senior mean? We have people 5 years in the business calling them senior, right? So,
that's kind of weirdness of its own.
Yeah. So, but I'm not the only one who says, hey, the brokers, they don't help. You find your assignments yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you probably go to a broker because you need someone with a ramavtal.
Oh yeah, that part as well.
So that's basically the gatekeepers of these things. So and it's very strange for me that it's also not good for the companies that look for people. Because can you trust that the consultant broker really brings you the best person, or brings them where they profit the most?
Oh yeah.
So if and we have today total different technologies. Like you can connect as with other freelancers on online places. There are no places for this, right? This didn't exist years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why companies still. I understand that they want the unique contract with people, so they don't want 10 different types of contracts with 10 different. So one contract company, I understand this, but on the other hand, this brokers things that I think there is not enough direct sourcing for the companies when they look for something, but going over this.
Yeah, there should be a space there for someone. I mean, a company that does it reasonably well on their own could become popular with consultants as well, because you don't have to have the middleman. You can actually talk directly to someone who knows the job.
Yeah. So this is the situation as the business as I've seen it. I'm happy that I'm out now, so I have a contract already in my inbox. This is also why we have time to talk.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time between assignments actually for me site I created my shop here in Sweden.
Wow.
And it was so I do now all these projects I had no time for, and all of a sudden I was so busy.
Yeah.
And then also looking for assignments. And so, but it was quite interesting time. Enjoyed it a lot, I have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my impression of the consultant business. It will change. I think it will have to change in the next time because it feels like a little bit like it hasn't catched up with the technology. It's a little bit too much gatekeeping, and there are way too many companies involved. I mean, several have already gone out of business. And it will also be that several people looking at why should I work as a consultant if it's much more attractive to be employed at a place.
Yeah, of course.
And that's very interesting development. This is something I would not have expected years ago.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. But how should it change? Should we eliminate the middlemen of the...
We cannot do anything. I mean, there are a lot of companies popping up and claiming now AI match.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still just collecting profiles.
Yeah.
And then having a need on one hand, and then they look, we're gonna make the biggest cut. And then they try to match the profile on this.
Yeah.
And of course they try to keep the customers happy. But I'm not sure what can be changed. I think the market will have to sort it out itself. And then companies might need to find different ways how to shout out, hey, we actually need someone. And then I kind of understand it. Companies have very often not the best resources available to go through the available options because it takes time to filter out, especially in times like now, because LinkedIn, when LinkedIn shows you the job and it shows you how many people applied for something, right?
Yeah.
And I just watched the numbers, and it's crazy at the moment, right? So probably you want to filter something out, but probably I can do that already. So there will be maybe some automation in place.
Yeah, I guess so, but still, it feels like what you want to move toward is as little automation as possible, because you can actually get more personal contact. And
yeah, but personal contact takes a lot of time. You need to think, sure. If you're in a company and you do job interviews, that's where you have two people at the interview for 1 hour.
Yeah,
so that's quite expensive task to do.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If you do 10 interviews, it's half a working week.
Yeah.
Probably more because you have the context switch.
Yeah.
You go to the interview, you go back. So that's for 10 interviews. It's basically, you can say you vaporize a working week.
Yeah, sure.
In time to some. So as you will have some automations to have the 10 people you have to interview that these are the right people.
Yeah.
And then maybe you value that somebody pre-selects.
Yeah, if it's someone whose opinions I trust. But
we need to see how this pre-selection, I think the market will figure out how the mechanism that works will probably survive. Or not always the best, but works somehow to some reason.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not always the technical best, but because what does it take today to become a broker? It's basically a computer and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And if you have worked in a broker company, and you know the tricks, how they work, where they get the assignments from. Mm-hmm. Then you talk with the people and, hey, we have the best, and sure, right? The companies will put you on the list, because if they send out their requirements to 6 or 7 companies, a company thinks, hey, okay, one more. And they have the order in which to process.
Yeah.
Usually companies search something, first they go to this, if this doesn't provide something, go to that, and so on. So they put you very down at the list, and the new players on the market try to get on the list from the known companies. I mean, the pool of companies is limited. It's still Sweden. There's a lot of companies, but not endless many.
No, exactly.
And they hope to come up in this. And then, then what should be removed is basically the indirect market where you have a consultant broker that goes via consultant broker, to a customer.
Yeah.
Also very often you have two layers. That one company says, I take this company that handles everything. And this company says then, who can find somebody for me? And this is then the second. And then this one first, they just 1% or 1 point something or 2 or 3 or whatever, but relatively small fee of the thing. And then you have two layers that cannot be avoided. This is organizational stuff and contract stuff. And there is a value involved. But more layers shouldn't be, and this can also be targeted just by the freelancers themselves. So I always ask, what's your access level?
Yeah.
And if it's not on the top, then basically why to continue? I mean, I then feel sorry for the person who tries to establish themselves at the market, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yes.
And the most obscure things is when people ring from England.
Oh yeah, that happened to me for a while. It stopped a few years ago. I was very happy about that.
I don't know if this is still. I think I know one person in who actually got an assignment.
Wow!
Somebody from England. They reached out to them via LinkedIn, and I was really in Sweden. And I know this can happen because you have companies. They have routes to England. Somewhere, maybe it's part of the major company that owns them has this broker, this staffing company. So then you have this, but it's still very obscure.
Yeah. I think I actually figured out that connection once for one company. I don't remember how, but like that English broker was contacting me, and then they wouldn't say what company it was about, of course, because they never wanted to. But I somehow figured out that it was a company that I knew someone at. And I could go to that person and say, hey, this brokerage you're using, they're not really, they don't give a good impression of you.
Yeah. If the company even knows that this broker presents them.
Oh, so
that's another thing, right? So if it's an indirect thing, if it's people that I mean, you have big online providers. They throw out 200, not just IT, everything, and everybody can register there if you have a company. So maybe they don't even know. Right? You can register there as a supplier, and then you are basically, and that's just a web. Nobody checks you, right? So because you get just the things available, and then you make it very, I know this a customer in this, and of course I cannot tell you details, but I have a very good relation to this shop. But maybe the shop doesn't even know, because I know also few companies, right?
Yeah.
and ask them, do you know this and this? And no, actually I have to check.
Yeah, like you said before, too many levels.
Yeah, so but maybe the situation we have now, these levels will flatten out.
Yeah.
And this would be very healthy for the market.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure doesn't seem like it's helping right now, so that would be good. Time for a quick but huge thank you to everyone sponsoring us on Ko-fi. You too can become one of these incredible individuals by surfing to ko-fi.com/KODSNACK and giving us either a one-time donation or a monthly support. If you support us on the coffee drinker level of €5 per month, you get a bunch of very nice stickers in your actual mailbox. If you support us on the barista level for €10 per month or more, you also get a thank you right here. Big thanks to Anders Legell, Josef Landberg, Kalle, Thomas Skäre, Joel Rangsmo, Svante Richter, Michelle, Ingo, and Tobbe Lundberg. Everyone who supports us help make this podcast possible, and the more of you there are, the more possible it becomes to make. And right now, in the beginning of May of 2026, we've actually passed a nice little milestone on Ko-fi. And the milestone is that it's time to print and send out some all-new stickers to all our supporters. It will take a little while to get everything in order, but they are coming. And this means that now is a great time to become a supporter if you've been thinking about it. If you start supporting us before the new stickers are ready, you will get both the old and the new ones sent to you. Hack the system. slightly. And if you want to support us in other ways, you can, of course, give the podcast a review in your podcast player. Give it a thumbs up, a star, write a comment, or whatever your player supports. Or simply tell someone who might like the podcast about an episode. And remember, you are a fantastic person, whether you support us or not. Yeah, should we move to the second topic?
Yeah, what is the second topic?
Yeah, the second topic was C++26, the good and the bad.
C++26, the good and the bad. Yeah. Now I need to load context in my brain.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Yes, it's 2026, so we get a new C++ standard. Since we get all 3 years, we get one.
Yeah.
And it has, for a few weeks, just has been the final meeting from WG21, where the standard has been basically finalized from the working group. Now the papers go into ISO, and then there is the ISO process, and then there will be the voting of the national bodies. And until this happens, it will be 27, probably, until it's really going through the whole process, because usually it takes that long. But this is how the C++ standardization works. You have the ISO groups, SG22, WG21, and usually it's not like it works a little bit special in the terms of ISO, because we have now since last time I don't know if we had it last time, but when was our last session? 2021, right?
Yeah,
so this was about where I created the local mirror, because I was wondering, why does Sweden not have a voice in the standardization?
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, there is no local mirror, and the way it works, you need a local mirror for the subcommittee for SG22, and I contacted SIS, Swedish Institute of Standard, how we can make this happen, and we made it happen.
Cool.
And then we created the local mirror, and then companies could join. And since then we have people also involved in the standardization. And I'm also in this position more enabler for others. So I'm following the whole thing as a let's say user, because I think we have enough experts there, but the users are not really well presented.
Oh yeah,
in
that's
the
a good point.
So we have a lot of experts.
Yeah.
They are super in their domain.
Yeah.
But sometimes they forget about the average C++ developer.
Yeah.
And I think I represent this type. So maybe advanced user, but interested user. But this is my point of view.
Yeah.
But we have Swedish experts. We have a Swedish compiler company, EAR. So they produce a compiler, and then we have other people that suggest good papers since we have them. So there is now, and just recently a new paper from a person in Gothenburg, which I could onboard into the local mirror. So one expert added. So that's good. So basically they created this platform to enable people to participate in the C++ standardization. But the C++ standardization, they have their own mailing lists, and they work basically beside ISO a little bit. And they have the paper systems, and every 3 years you have this working draft, and then this working draft is on review, and then the final standards, and then when these things come, they go into the ISO. I simplify this now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because it's still ISO, and there is still a lot, and there are people that invest a lot of time to fulfill the process. But sometimes it's a little bit different. Like N papers don't go via ISO. Because when I look at the C standardization, a lot of the papers come via this portal to me. While no C++ paper, they come via the mailing list.
Okay.
So that's a little bit extra how the things work. Yeah. So anyhow, this since 23, which was also acknowledged in 24 somewhere. Now we have 26 new standard. We have a lot of big features again. and very many awesome small features added. It's hard to keep track actually what comes in, because it's really a lot now in the language.
Yeah.
And I always test this. I make at the meetups intro. Last year I started to add quiz at the end of the intro, And I always ask for a small feature of C++ that has been added in the recent year, 17, 20, or 23. So who knows this? And I write the code, and what could I put in there from modern C++? So contemporary C++ or what, however you want to call it these days. Modern doesn't fit anymore because we are now modern since 2011. So
postmodern.
so whatever, and everybody knows about the big things that came to the language, but the small improvements, they often cognitive load is an issue for developer. And this is something I tried to raise the awareness a little bit also in the context of the standardization group. There is of course no chance to do this. So all I can do is comment on the things, and I occasionally do this. And other people comment also. Like Björn Strostrup himself had the paper, Remember the Vasa, where he described that too many things come to the language without looking at the whole picture. The things themselves make sense. They look awesome for them. They are also awesome, but are they so awesome that they fit for everybody? That's the question with the big features. And we've got a lot of things that are still not there from C++ 20, like modules, which is a great concept. That is, you put everything in a module file, and compilers know how to deal with modules since quite a while. But technically, it's there, practically not, because their build systems haven't catched up. IDEs haven't catched up.
Oh yeah, there's so many levels too.
For Visual Studio Code, there is issue since 21 or something. I just had it on the tracker because yesterday a person commented on the issue. Since we opened this issue, I haven't just learned Rust, I've totally switched to Rust. And this is the last slide. I can send you the link to the issue. And you can put it to the show description. The thing. But I mean, and this is the C++ extension for Visual Studio Code, which are actually excellent extension, and modules comes very much from the Microsoft corner. So Visual Studio has it already. But that the editor support in Visual Studio Code, which is used by very many people, is not there. C-Lion also supports it. Meanwhile, CMake also supports it. But if you want to make import STD, you need to still add some magic CMake variable or so. It's so that they are not there. And this is with the big features. They often have a little bit like coroutines, for example. Nobody likes to write them because they're very complex, and we will get the awesome. It's the base, and then now we have the coroutines, and then 23 nothing happens except generator. And generator is awesome to some extent, but you need also to know how to use it. When to use it, there's a lot of things to do and to know, and everything needs. I have the feeling that all these things deserve their own book.
Yeah, probably. So big things.
Yeah. And now with 26, we have also again big features. So reflections is so compile time reflections. So this will be for sure awesome. So you can do a lot of magic. But I became too old for liking magic.
Yeah, I think it happens pretty quickly when it starts happening, doesn't it?
So I foresee that there will be a lot of code bases where somebody entertains themselves because they're bored at the job.
Yeah.
And then, I can make this.
Yeah.
And then and it will probably not be the only way to solve a problem.
No.
And it will be a very cryptic way of solving a problem. But this is the cycle you go to. You get these new features, and then people overuse it. So first they don't use it, then they overuse it, and then you establish best practices.
Yeah.
And I would wish when we get something, we should deliver it with the best practices.
Yeah, that would be great. I think Java went through that thing with reflection. Like what could that have been, like 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I had it with Ruby when I was in the Ruby world a little bit.
Of course.
So there was magic everywhere.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
it's awesome, but it has limits.
Yeah, if I just use this part and not all of it, things become much clearer.
Another question that is in the context of reflections is today with AI, where you have very affordable code generators, why don't let the AI write the code and have the code readable checked in? Instead, let the compiler generate something where you have a problem if you do steps through with the debugger.
Yeah.
And I had this experience already some years ago. I was using templates. Templates is also code generation, basically.
Yep.
It's now a simplification I use for the non-C++
a slight
development.
simplification, let's say.
It's basically also a code generation. And I was using a strong type library from Björn Faller, and I had a side project where I said, so what happens if I put everything I use in a strong type? Just on a side project to test it, right? So even the index to get from a container, I had an index type instead of an integer unsigned. So everything through. So put it to the extreme, right?
Yeah, of course.
And it was basically cool, except when you do something wrong, the compiler errors were insane. And I'm pretty used to the C++ error messages, and I don't fear them.
Yeah.
But this was really where I say, okay, I've reached the limit of myself.
Wow.
What is human readable?
Yeah.
And this was where AI basically came up, right? Okay. And then when I had this, one of my first experiences with AI was I put one of these compiler messages and said, can you make sense out of this? And the AI could make sense of this. And I was so, wow, okay, that's really useful. So, and this, please take my money. So I'm very much from the very beginning on this AI stuff, because not crazy with, I have not 10 agents running but I have my way of using it, and I think that helps me and makes fun, and it makes me more productive. And it's awesome.
You had a very clear use case right there.
And then I said, so, okay, I gave them a list of the strong types I used and said, they generate me this boilerplate, right? And then I had a container for this and a container for that, but everything with the explicit type and the explicit name. And it generated me a few headers, and the code was there in basically no time. And I was so, okay, the project compiles faster. Error messages are so much more readable. I can step through with the debugger and doing this. What will this actually mean for the code I write in future?
That's interesting.
And I'm still a little bit in this. What does it actually mean in this? And we haven't thought about this in this. There is a little bit thinking about C++ and AI, but I think C++ is not the best language for the AI, because I think a language where you have one way to do the thing is probably better for an AI than a language where you have infinite ways of doing something.
Yeah. So.
Because the AI will take today this way of solving something, and tomorrow it will be on a different backend. Where it goes, the thinking process goes through different.
I'll use templates.
Things, and we will come up with a different solution. So you need to tell it, hey, this is the style we write in this project. Yeah. And put this in the context and so on.
So like maybe a more limited cut down version of C++ or something.
Which makes sense, because this is also what Bjarne said years ago. Within C++, there is a much smaller language to be detected, to be extrapolated, or it needs to be found. Or I don't know the quote exactly, but that's basically the quote of it, the gist of it. And I made a talk about this, that orthodox C++, that define your subset, right? And then define the subset for the tooling that you use for how to write code. Yeah. And the subset needs to fit you and the team. And the team better agrees, because if we have a team of C++ developer and one person has a subset of, I write it like Java, and another, hey, I come from hardware, I write it like C, and another, I use just compile-time programming and nothing else. Yeah. Then you have a very complicated situation you need to solve.
Oh, yes.
And then AI will not help you a lot.
No.
So, So yeah, and back to C++26. So we have these reflections, which is awesome to some extent, which is makes me a little bit nervous to some other extent.
Yeah.
We will see. Another big feature is, of course, the contracts. I'm very not happy with this because. So let me first start what contracts are. So contracts dates back to a book of Myers, I think from the 80s, object-oriented programming, and comes from Eiffel.
Oh.
And it was basically putting the requirements for a function into the interface. So if you have an index access into an array, you have an array type or array class, was it in Eiffel, and you say, hey, the index should be smaller than the size because otherwise you access illegal memory. You make this requirement in the interface and you have a pre-check in the interface or what. And yeah, this was in the 80s and computers were not very strong in the 80s. So you had these different compilation modes. So I can turn them off, then it will be fast. But if you give me something that makes no sense, there will be undefined behavior, whatever computers in this, or the language in the case, probably crash or whatever. And then they had different types of checks, and you could select. If you select level 1, you had these checks, and if you select level 2, you had this check. I have a talk about this on YouTube where I list out the levels, and. Yeah, and since contracts, the idea has been in for C++ quite a while, so it has been discussed very, very long. There was an attempt to get it into language, I think 17, and then it was pulled out at the last moment because not everything was clear how it should work. And now it is being brought back. And it had been brought back via one company, and they have their framework. And their framework is awesome for them. I totally understand this.
Yeah.
That's perfect. They have 20-year-old codes. They want to add these contracts, but they don't want the code to crash if a contract is violated because this code runs for 20 years.
Oh,
so if a contract is violated but it works, you probably just want to have a log message that you can investigate. Why does this code work? But you don't want to fire it, right? So they added a mechanism to make this possible. That you don't have turn it on, turn it off. You have this observe behavior. And this observe behavior is a wonderful feature, except it makes now things very complicated for build engineers.
Oh, yes.
Because we have now 4 compilation modes. How we can compile for additional compilation modes, with contracts. Which is, I either don't turn them totally off, then they don't exist, which is a problem for them because we still don't have no simple mechanism in the language for defensive programming. Yeah. So assert is a compile time stuff, right? But we don't have always assert. Doesn't exist in the language. That cannot go away. So we can turn them off, which is a problem. It's a problem for certain industries. If you can turn it off, you can make it wrong. If you can make it wrong, you need extra paperwork. Yep. Why should we use it? Because this paperwork is expensive. Then you have this observe behavior where I say, okay, run, because the contract is not just a check, but it is also a custom function that is executed. You can set this function. And this function can then do whatever. It has no limits, right? You shouldn't do anything stupid. This is the typical stuff, right? Don't do stupid things, but we know what people will do. Yep. So we have these functions that can be executed, and then you can lock and say, hey, there is actually a contract violation, but obviously it works, right? Yeah. So this is the other compilation mode. Then we have the compilation mode where you run this function, you have the log entry, and you terminate. And then we have this the additional compilation mode where you don't run this function, you directly terminate. Okay. Because then you'll be fast, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay. But when it comes to be fast, then we have a little bit of problem with the contracts in the interface, because there's no guarantee that a contract is checked once. Okay. The standard cannot give you this guarantee because it might be actually checked twice, right? So if performance is important, you probably have to think if you use this also.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is a little bit, it has definitely the usage for several use cases. Is it so that it fits, is it so universal perfect that it fits in the standard for the whole world? My take on this is no. I'm not alone with this. There are very well-known people. Piana is one of them, and from other national bodies and compiler vendors and so on. So the names are public available. And for me, it was a little bit okay. I'm very much in the build ecosystem since years. Because I've seen, the code is not the issue anymore for me.
Yeah.
Of course, code needs to be maintainable and nice. What is nice?
Yeah.
But it needs to fit to the team and so on. But I found myself years ago in the position where, hey, I can write the best APIs and best implementations if the whole infrastructure with which I work, the whole feedback loops, the testing, the tools, nothing of this is good, then what's the value of it?
Yeah.
And companies all often forget about these things because it's not directly product related.
No, yeah.
And it gets no priority. So CI pipelines, testing, shrinking feedback loops, having more efficient builds is you need to reach a certain level of pain to we should invest in this. Right? And I specialized for this already now nearly 10 years ago and looked very much in this. So for me it was of course the thing, okay, we have debug, we have release, we have various sanitizer compilation modes. So sanitizer is a very awesome thing where basically checks like Rust do it, but you do it at runtime and you need extra builds. Of course, this check have a runtime cost. So you usually, if performance matters, you don't deploy them. But it gives you a lot of the safety aspects that people say it's missing. Well, no, it's not missing. You just need to do something to to compile it like this and run it. So we have this additional 4 compilation modes now that you compile with release and debug. And if you have just one code base or your mono repository, then everything is fine. But if you have multiple compilation units and you want to, for example, to link against the system package from your Linux, in what flavor is this compiled? And we have a one definition rule. So here then the things becomes a little bit tricky, right? And the simple answer is what people say, our experts is, you will have control about your compilation flags. Yeah, sure, I have control about the compilation flags. Probably better than some of the experts because I work as a build engineer.
Totally.
And I know what I'm talking about. So, but things happen. Things happen. And if things happen, they will happen.
Yeah, of course.
And probably you have a binary that is in the wrong mode. And you expect you have the checked mode and you get the unchecked version or vice versa. And then you don't have the most efficient stuff or the thing crashes and you whatever. So it's complicated. It adds overhead. Additionally, it's a lot of new terms come in the language where it says implementation specified. And I think we should treat implementation specified like undefined behavior.
Yeah.
We try to get rid of undefined behavior and replace it with erroneous behavior and try to put something nicer. But implementation defined is a problem for safety space because if you use a compiler and you use something that is implementation defined and you have regulation, you need to create paperwork. I use this compiler. This is undefined. So the compiler implemented like this. I have understood this, and it creates costs. It creates overhead, right? So why would you want to use this if probably you are already 20 years in the business and you have your defensive programming framework?
Yeah, of course.
That already. So that's the issue I have a little bit with this. But we had a lot of time invested for this. Standardization time. Also in the local mirror, we had so many discussion and I don't like it, but let's move on. and I'm against it, but whatever. If it comes, I will deal with it. What shall I do? And let's move on. But it comes back.
Yeah, exactly. That's that kind of stuff. It just keeps coming back.
It keeps coming back, and it keeps and we have this. So we will see. We will see what happens with this. What it means. I find it a little bit too much time wasted for this. Not enough time for other things like pattern matching, for example. We still have no pattern matching. Hopefully we get it. Yeah. We have string interpolation. We have a Swedish paper that basically Python F string into C++. Yeah. There is even a version Compiler Explorer when you can explore it. It's awesome. Yeah. There was no time to look at this no, because people needed to look at these
contracts.
Other things, the big things, right? And I think these small things add much more value than these big things. But string interpolation. Now the next thing will be that networking comes back. And I said, why would we want to have networking in the standard library? Yeah. And the answer is why some people want to have things in the standard libraries. How shall I install it if it comes as a third-party library? Yeah. And that sounds funny, but a lot of people don't know.
I mean,
so because C++ has no ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? C++ doesn't even know about the compiler, right? There is a specification for a compiler. And it defines several things. And when it doesn't know what to define, it's implementation defined, right? Yeah. But talking about the package manager, talking about how to handle dependencies. And if you look at new languages, they all come as a bundle. Yeah. They all come, hey, there is a language, there is the tool, I tell you how to format the code. Yeah. You don't need to reinvent it. Yeah. I tell you how to make test coverage. I tell you how to make profiling. Yeah. I tell you how to install dependencies. And Swift has solutions for this. This is awesome. With Swift Package Manager. Go has a solution for this. Well, Go, I mean, give me the code, I compile it, right? So there is no binary dependency management with code. So that's probably an issue for some places. Yeah, of course. Rust the same, right? Give me the code and I compile it. But the things are there. And in C++, there was an attempt to get in ecosystem evolution, but it basically went nowhere, and the people lost the patience with the standardization committee because nobody had ever time for this. And we think it's important. Yeah. I think it's crucial for the language because we have a lot of things in the standard library that should probably not be in the standard library. Because as soon as something is in the standard library, it's eternal and you cannot change it. Oh, yeah. So then you have this, you shouldn't use this, use that, right? And then the user becomes, shall I use this or shall I? Yeah. Right. But you can start teaching. You can start using it for teaching. So let's use networking, even if you shouldn't use it for production. Let's use some user interface stuff. Well, what is a user interface in C++? Well, I use it on a microcontroller. What shall I do there with networking? Or why is it in the standard library, right? Then you need to come up with things with the freestanding. And it's a problem. Yeah. I think it's too much, too big things. Then we have also the reality that people are good in adding something in the standard library, but who actually maintains the standard libraries? Yeah. Who maintains libc++? Yeah. Who adds the code there? Yeah. Who adds libc++ from GCC? The things come in and then they are there, but probably not optimal. Yeah. And it's not that commercial companies come and say, we have a team of 5 people and it will fix. Yeah. Right? So there is a natural problem that things become too big. Yeah, of course. They sort of collapse under their own weight eventually. And Java and others, they say we deprecate things, or other languages give a stability guarantee, but then they have, this is the set we do, and we have networking in the standard library, but we have a release every 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Go has constant releases to fix the networking stuff. And so they have a stability guarantee. It's awesome. But they have also a release cycle, and you can update basically on the fly. It's not a big issue. So and we miss a little bit this infrastructure that we can do this, and then it's complicated to get the things in.
Yeah.
So
it's such a huge.
That's a little bit the good and the bad of C++.
Yeah.
I think it's for a lot of use cases, it's still the proper choice.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't keep evolving either.
I think it will become difficult in the future for C++, because what I see is the next generation of developer not using it because they struggle with the infrastructure. I want to do something and I need to, which build system shall I use? So first you look and get 5 different opinions from the internet. Yeah. And then you need to learn this build system. And then how to install a dependency. And then until you can write the code that you want to write, there are so many things you need to, and this pain needs to be taken away in some point. So you need a infrastructure solution. Because with Go or with Rust, you init your project, I use this, and you write the code that you want to write. Yeah. And this is what I see people doing. Yeah. And when I look at all the tools that come, like ripgrab and bat or you name it, it started as, say, there is the C tool. Let's rewrite it in language, Go or Rust or whatever. And then, everything has already been rewritten. so let's create something new. Yeah. That hasn't existed, and I see this software popping up, not written in C anymore, not written in C++, but written in Rust and Go. And then this developer that make this in the education as the entrance in the development world, they want to stick with this. Yeah, of course. And not a lot of people say, I take the pain to go into the C++ world. Yeah. So I hope we find a solution, but I'm not very optimistic. No, I mean there's so many people pulling in so many directions, and nobody cares about the infrastructure. Yeah. No, I guess. Yeah. No, infrastructure is just a hard thing. I feel like stuff like issues like that, or that exact kind of issue sort of goes on everywhere. I mean, just when it comes to managing a single project in any language, and then we have an issue somewhere in the application, and someone adds something that turns out to like add this little explosion of environment variables that needs to go into the CI, and you can easily miss that when you do stuff in the code, and then someone comes and asks you why the CI pipeline doesn't work. And I mean, it's sort of a micro version of the same thing, I feel like. People add something in one place that they care about, and they feel like this is a great solution for this, and then it sort of spirals out into the ecosystem around it, sort of uncontrolled, because the people who were invested in adding that solution weren't interested in that part, or perhaps didn't even know about it. But it's the same kind of issue as someone adds a big feature to C++, and what does this mean for the whole rest of the world? From this perspective, C++ is not different than to any other project. Exactly. You have teams on it. You have these sub-study groups that focus on several. You have the language evolution. You have the library evolution. Yeah. Then you have people contributing some things. We have another thing coming in the execution frameworks. So executors, senders and receivers. That looks so far pretty interesting, and I think this can be valuable. I haven't deep dived in this enough so far, so I can't just say what I see. This looks good, but it comes from mostly from NVIDIA, and I know folks at Intel using it already, also in the embedded space. So that is pretty interesting. Yeah. So this is the another big feature from 26, the sender and receiver. So these are the things. So there's a lot of things that is interesting and good. We have so many small improvements.
That's good.
Where people detect something, hey, this should be like this and this should be like that, or why is it like this? And then they add papers and then they get in. And yeah, I probably should make a list of all the quiz questions I added also.
Yeah.
At least I motivated at least of one of our group members. He said he will make a talk about 26 small features.
Oh, perfect.
that should make the language. And I mean, it is like this when we talk about safety. With 26, if you just update the compiler, like the unused variables initializations, you eliminate a lot of problems that existed.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that your code becomes better and your code becomes safer when you move forward. The reality is, of course, if you look at the regulated industries, they are 10 years behind, maybe even more, because they deal with hardware vendors. That hardware vendors have special compilers. These compilers are probably not even standard conform, or they're just GCC forks from back then. And they could use an ARM GCC compiler, and they probably should, but they don't even look into the option because, hey, there is no vendor I can finger point if something goes wrong. So you need this ISO certificate company behind. And that's so we will see when this industry catches up.
Yeah,
that's another. Until then, probably I don't know what's going to happen.
No, small things very slowly.
But I mean, we know there is a Volvo shipped with some Rust on board in the embedded space now. There is an embedded Rust compiler that tries to get a specific as a ISO certification. Working against the specification, they donate this specification to the Rust Foundation. People from Woven Toyota, they're very much into C++, but they're also looking into this. And some of them are very excited about this. And what I see is that the Rust gets much more support from the C people than C++.
Okay.
So they're more open to this, even if they don't like it, but it's at least when you come with C++ to them, they no way, too complex, too many. I don't want to learn this and this and this. But we will see how it is in a few years. Maybe they will also come to Rust. No, too complex.
Who knows?
Because Rust is not a simple language.
No, that's true. It's not, also, and it's not standing still either. So
it's not standing still, and people want to have features, and they will reach the same.
Yeah, it's just a question of when.
Some point, I think, when they put in. But on the other hand, they don't promise you also a lot of things. And they have something with the app box or the Rust versions you use. So you can put in this cargo file. I'm not a Rust expert. I use it a little bit in a few places. But you can put which flavor you are. We had a similar... somebody tried to bring epochs to C++. And say you put something in the compilation unit. That you say which flavor I am, and I think we will need something like this to move forward and break some things, because we will see. There's very exciting work going on profiles.
Yeah, I've heard that.
This is
term.
It becomes now a little bit more visible. There was unfortunately not enough time to look at this because we looked at the other things, and I think that's unfortunately, because I think profiles could take away some of the safety arguments, because a lot of the safety things is actually you shouldn't write code like this, and the only reason why you can write code like this is because we promise to be backward compatible to C. And C++ has actually solutions for all of this, but people don't use it, or they don't have the static analysis in the CI for some reason that says, hey, this code shouldn't go through the CI because people write then the suppressions into places. And I really, that's. I mean, I've seen code where there were more suppressions directives than code, and that's. I mean, then you can say if you put the same people, if you put Rust there, they will create the same, right? They will unsafe, and then you have also no guarantees just because it is. So that's another topic. But the language itself has already solved a lot of things. It's continuous solving things, adding good things. It adds also a lot of, hey, here is a solution. And then people, let me find a problem that I can solve now with whatever.
Yeah.
to just have an excuse to play around with these big features because everybody is advertising this big feature.
Yeah, exactly.
and maybe you don't need it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And tooling is also moving forward, and profiles would be a step in the right directions, where you basically put more static analysis in the compiler. And the compiler gets a set of rules defined where you say, hey, if you don't use these profiles, you still have everything. Mm-hmm. But if you add this annotation and say this code should not do things like this because this could create dangling pointers or whatever, then this code, hey, I can't, even if the code is correct, I cannot verify it's correct. I will not compile this code. So adding this through annotations of what check you add to a code. And this will be interesting.
Yeah.
There is, of course, the situation that to really lift off, this will have to work with modules.
No, we are, of course.
And we talked about modules.
Right? Exactly.
So, because then with modules, the compiler has a better view of the code it translates and what it requires. And the isolation it has for it. And then it can run the better analysis on this code. Yes, so we will need to have the infrastructure catch up, that modules come in place, that they work with IDEs and build systems. There is something to do still, mostly on the build system. Mostly the IDEs haven't catched up, except the Microsoft C++ extension for Visual Studio Code. Hey, Microsoft, please.
Please.
If you listen to this pod, just fix this. You fixed it for Visual Studio, and C-Lion has it, so you should be able to. Yeah, you can do it.
I believe in you.
So please do this.
Yeah.
And then C++ has. Then you need, of course, the education, how to continue to move this on. I mean, with the new languages, the best practices come. And it's also funny, right? You put people on developers on Rust or on Go or on whatever, Python. They have no problem to accept the Python rules, right? Even I don't like it, but when it comes to C++, they have strong opinions.
Yeah.
It has to be the code like they write there.
Yeah. Everything else is bad.
Yeah, so then maybe need to be some tooling that creates the opinion so that there is a space, and profile is a step in the right directions to what is the style of code you should write. And then even more static analysis. We have already awesome static analysis available for free, so it's not everything you need to pay. No. So Klangtidy, if you know how to configure it and you configure it for you, that is disabling all the Google specific things you probably don't need in your project.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful, not just analyze, it can also fix code for you. So hey, fix in this code base the usage of this, fix it to that. There are several things that can help modernize the code.
Nice.
And then you have a CPP check, a Swedish solution, by the way, from Daniel Mariamäki, I think is the second name, who has created the CPP check now as a company entity, finally, after all these years, and is now able to make a living out of this. And there is then also now the CPP check professional support, where you can get the MISRA rules checks in, and also for cross-compilation. So people need to use these tools. It doesn't have to be always the expensive tools. And then I think C++ can still be the proper solution for the places where efficiency is a priority. Yeah. Efficiency in space and what is the size of a program. Yeah. And in time, execution time. Yeah. So,
it's moving on.
Yeah, and 29 is already in the work.
Maybe we'll have time for concepts or some profiles.
Well, concepts we had them. And concepts also.
Profiles.
So So profiles. Concept was C++20, and they slowly come into the language, and they really help to specify the intent of what you're going to write, and help a little bit the compiler messages. So they're awesome.
Yeah,
that was one of the big features where I'm super happy with it.
That's nice. Things actually come through nice in the end as well. That's good to hear. Do you have a little bit more time?
Yeah, I have more time.
Okay, should we talk? We should talk a little bit about running a user group for a decade. I feel like.
Yeah, running a user group for a decade. Why do we talk about this? Because I do it now.
Exactly. Based on personal experience.
Based on personal experience, yeah. I mean, how long do you run this podcast now?
It varies between like.
I mean, when did you start?
2012.
2012. So you're much more than 10 years. So
yeah.
What does it mean to have a side project going on that long? Besides that, you're a little bit crazy.
It's probably mainly that, actually.
What does it mean?
Yeah, what does it mean? I guess it means that you've found a way of doing it that doesn't drain you over time. Found some kind of balance in it. Because I definitely feel that I had less of that earlier on in this podcast. That it was very easy for me to like stress out a little too much, or feel that I had a little bit much to do and a little bit too little time to recover in between, things like that. So that's something that it means for me, at least, that I found a good way of balancing it. So I keep doing the podcast, and it's fun. It's not always a feeling of pressure that, I have to do this because I've been doing it.
Well, you have a different frequency than the user group meetings, because the user group meeting is 6-7 times a year.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I picked the frequency because it works for me as well. I tried doing another podcast. I did a podcast at work for a while, which was every other week. And that didn't work at all for me. It felt like starting from scratch every time. So I apparently clearly need the cadence of once a week to sort of keep a nice rhythm. Which is
it's if it's integrated in, then it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Like I constantly work on the user group, looking for speaker, looking for places where we can talk.
Yeah.
Having conversations with potential speakers. Sometimes it takes pretty long to get, especially people from abroad.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but yeah, SwedenCPP 10 years in. There are actually multiple dates I could use for celebration. I could celebrate for everyone.
Yeah.
When I started, it was like I came to Stockholm and there was no C++ user group activity, and I was. Ruby was back then still big, so I was at Ruby meetups, and I thought, hey, it would be nice to have something for C++, but there was a group, but nothing happened. And then when the maintainer stepped back and said, yeah, somebody will take over, and then nobody did. And then before the group vanished, I think, okay, let's do it. And I had no idea what to do with this. And then when I had it, I created a little bit the vision and the wish to make something like a conference available for everyone. Because if you look at the C++ conferences, they're pretty pricey.
Of course.
So back then, it was the time where the first conference videos came to YouTube.
Yeah.
So before there were conferences and you didn't know about them, right? Or you know about, but hey, they are far off in the US.
Yeah, exactly. They happened years ago, right? Or something.
But then also Europe catched up with meeting C++ in Germany, and they created the stuff. But the thing is, you need to go there.
Yeah.
If you go there, you can't work. So you don't have income. And this doesn't matter if you're now a freelancer or if a company sends you. So if a company sends you to a conference, then you cannot work for the company. So it's not just the ticket price and what you pay for being there. It's also that it's a vacation time, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Things like this. And then they are not especially cheap, the tickets for all them, and you need the hotel costs. And so it's a very limited amount of people that can actually go there. And we noticed it's a very limited amount of people who do this, who watch then the talks on YouTube or who read the book, right? And I was so, okay, let's make something accessible. Let's make a conference spread over locations and time. And that's how it started. And first it was just so let's come together and talk and present for each other and make this video recording to have the availability for feedback for the people who give a talk.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't do the recording at the first place.
No.
So other people did it.
But you did have it from the start.
We had it from the start,
cool.
from the first meetup with presentation. So we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
SwedenCPP. So the very first talk, nearly all the talks are there. I think I have lost 1 or 2 recordings.
Wow, that's nothing.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's talking about stress, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I do this.
No, exactly.
But at the beginning it was, I mean, you see hopefully the improvement in quality of the work. But people said, yeah, we should have this, and then they started to do it.
Yeah.
And then after doing it 2 times, it was not fun anymore for them.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then people expected it kind of, and I got interested in, hey, this video stuff, you don't need to have a full studio.
Yeah.
You can do it actually just. So
Yeah.
this was cool, right?
Yeah.
Being, hey, I can do a recording.
Yeah.
Basically in my backpack, I have a fully fledged multimedia studio.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
That was wow, and I can do this. So I gradually took over this recording, and then it's of course there's technical gear involved, like wireless HDMI and wireless audio to and having everything twice for having backup.
Oh yeah.
So you can geek out on these things easily.
Yeah, of course.
If you want, and there are no limits on money you could spend. But for me, the interesting thing is what is the minimum amount of money I can invest. Yeah. So there was then the aspect of having the talks, having the recordings, having the experience for the people, that they have also the possibility for the hallway track.
Yeah.
What is called by the conferences, right? You don't go because of the presentations, but you go because of the hallway track.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Also having a bit of a place where the developers have their after work. And then we had, of course, the good situation in Stockholm that we had people that were willing to present something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tricky part.
This was what made it possible to have these 2 presentations per event.
Yeah.
And this on a kind of regular schedule, 6 to 7 events every year.
Yeah.
And only Corona was a break. So until then, I did it more or less on autopilot because it was the habit to do it. And Corona put a break on this. And after Corona, I was, okay, I'm a developer, how do I continue to develop this?
Yeah.
And I created the SwedenCPP Pro Partner Network. And the Pro Partner Network is basically for companies that want to support the group and host the events there. And there is a little bit of a fee involved. So I don't do this for free anymore. But it's not that I make a little bit of money. It's more or less when I'm a freelancer, when I make this event, I can't work for at least an afternoon.
Yeah, of course.
And then I have a 10-kilo backpack.
Yeah.
So at least going home with a cab is nice.
Yeah,
so having this expense covered.
Yeah.
Then there are a few other expenses.
Yeah.
And I don't even mention, if I would bookkeep the time that I use finding speaker, preparing stuff, talking with mentors, it would still be a minus.
Yeah, of course.
Would take the lowest fees, our fees. But at least it is not nothing anymore.
No.
And it's a nice thing to continue. That it's also see, okay, because there are way more companies that want to run a meetup on their site. Then I could actually organize. So this was then also, okay, how shall I select?
Yeah.
And the people that are willing to say, okay, actually, we understand the value to have 50 plus developer in-house and target exactly the user group we want to target with the advertisement for our company.
Yeah.
There is a certain value. And
absolutely.
those companies that understand this, I think they are nicer to talk with.
Yeah, of course.
So from this point, it made sense. So it became a little bit a different level.
Yeah.
So it runs now this 10 years. This conference style over space and time. And since I have the partner network, I can also occasionally cover travel costs.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
I
nice.
try to get from time to time a speaker from abroad.
Yeah.
So the last years we had several. It's also when we want to looking for female speakers, they always have to pay them the travel because they run in Stockholm.
Yeah. It's sad.
So I try to, as soon as I can find someone who can, hey, do you want to make a vacation in Stockholm? I can pay you the travel cost at least. Then
That's
then
nice.
we have a female speaker also to because I care a little bit that we have everybody involved in the group.
Yeah, of course.
And that's nice. It created, of course, a different stress level because if a company pays for something, then they have expectations to the event.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's, hey, actually a speaker got sick and I have to cancel now. It's not an option so much anymore.
No.
Which is unhealthy, actually stress, and I have to think about how to deal with these situations in future. I haven't found a solution yet, but something will come up.
Yeah.
So
how long ago did you start the partner or supporting
after
companies?
Corona.
Oh yeah.
After Corona, yeah.
Oh yeah. When you started it back up.
Yeah. So when I come back, it was I had created because with Corona I created the WG21. Mirrored the SIS activity and a few other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then, the user group is back. I'm not used to this anymore. It doesn't fit in my calendar. So I needed to, and then it's also, shall I continue? I mean, I did this now and I can do it.
Yeah.
But what's the next level? So the partner network is one level.
Yeah.
Then I thought about several things. Could you provide the service for the members also? But it's very, very difficult actually to do.
Yeah.
To do anything.
Yeah.
With this, so I will continue for a while. I have no plans to stop this.
No.
Conference over space and time.
Yeah. It's a very nice way of putting it. I like it.
And enable people to have a conference experience for those who want without when they cannot be sent to a conference or cannot visit one. So this is cool.
Yeah.
I think we reached also something. It's not me. It's the whole group, the speakers. Without speakers, there would be no event.
Yeah.
Of course, right. So it's mostly that the people who want to speak, and they give a presentation, and they're reliable. So that's awesome. So there have not been a lot of issues in the past. That's perfect. So and then of course the people that come to the events. So this is a whole package, and I drive the whole thing.
Yeah.
And make it possible. So that's still nice. But of course, what else could I do, right? What else could I do? I have now, when I had time, I made a new version of the SwedenCPP page, which I created as the info hub for C++. So that makes fun.
Yeah, of course.
So where I have now it's the SwedenCPP label. So the SwedenCPP, what also the fee enables me is creating the Meetup Pro group, and the Meetup Pro group is extra expensive. So the Meetup price is actually insane, and I would like to find an alternative. But then, when I think about the alternative, all of a sudden I have a huge side project.
Yeah, exactly.
and now I know technically how to do it.
Yeah.
And thanks to AI, CSS is not an issue anymore. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the whole SwedenCPP site, I wipe coded it 3 times in 3 different languages just to see how it feels.
Yeah, keep experimenting.
Doing the things, right? And the things. But then was, okay, could I do something for members also as a next step? But no, no. I added you can buy me a coffee.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Buy me a coffee, but nobody does. So.
Start doing it, people.
So probably I will do something. Take the archive, make it short and short. At least some coffee comes in, then I put the day back or make some gamifications out of out of this. So I can experiment with such things and
Yeah,
have
of
the
course.
infrastructure of the SwedenCPP stuff.
Yeah.
So a Meetup replacement would be, because Meetup, I mean, it's still a good platform because to get found.
Yeah, that's the
then
thing.
The editor is creating an event can be painful.
Mm-hmm.
You can add speaker information and then it disappears and things like this, right? Where it feels like you see when you use Meetup, you see this. I don't know how old it's now, 15 years or whatever. Generations of developer adding services to services to services, which call services.
Yeah.
And then instead of fixing the stuff, new people come in and say, we need to change the user interface that it looks better. And then
that's
you have
the
better looking
part.
stuff, but then all of a sudden the functionality is not there anymore. So Meetup itself, it's good, but it has also a lot of space to improvement.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've heard the exact same thing from many other people using Meetup professionally or paying for it, and so it feels like there's definitely room for something some way. But somehow.
I mean, the question is, so I do now these events so that I create the Meetup event, and I don't announce it where we meet up, because I put it up and then I put it on the group communication channel and then on my LinkedIn. And as I hit the event, and early people that follow me attentive can now register already. And they have advantage.
Nice.
And we nearly book out every event without the Meetup announcement. So the question is then, why do I need it?
Yeah, good question.
When you have established the group already.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a nice functionality, but this is also just available when you have the paid version, that you can query programmatically, and I can list on the SwedenCPP homepage all the upcoming meetups from around the world. So if because there's still a lot of virtual meetups. So if you want to join, you can look at there and hey, there's a virtual meetup going on in the US.
Yeah, find
and
others.
you can join there, and I list them with the local times and the UTC times. And that's a good service.
Yeah, sure.
But it's actually pretty expensive for for what it provides. So
sure.
It should be free, and it used to be free. And so the first version of SwedenCPP listed these events, and then Meetup took it away and put it GraphQL interface. But behind the paywall just for pro members, and luckily I have not a pro group that enables me the pro stuff, so this is all a little bit connected, and then I can play around with GraphQL, and I can make this Meetup authentication, and I learn a lot of things with this, so this makes fun. Dealing with the API. And so this user group gives me also this side projects where I learn this web application stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
Makes me thinking about, hey, if I would replace Meetup, how would I do it?
Yeah.
And then you draft up something with Clerk for user authentication, or look, hey, what is actually, how do you integrate the payment service and so on, and say, oh, actually, I cannot do all this stuff because these websites, I cannot create them.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah, but it's fun.
kind of, but it is at least, hey, it gives so much that these options exist, and so I still have a lot of fun with this SwedenCPP, and there is a lot of content I want to hear about, and people I would like to have in Stockholm. I'm still afraid of creating a conference, because that would then too much event.
Yeah, it's a whole different level. Feels like as well.
Yeah,
I'm impressed by people who can do it.
Well, yeah, there is a commercial aspect to it, right? So
that as well. Covering
that's you don't do this with where you invest your own money, right? You make this conference, you have a business plan.
Yeah.
You know, okay, this is what the location costs, this is how many people you have, this is what the catering costs. The catering is, by the way, insane expensive.
I bet.
It's the location is not the problem, but the catering is. Yeah. And it's usually not that good either. So,
so that's the exception.
Yeah. So you can then have when I sell so and so many tickets, then I am on the plus point. And then if you get sponsors for the events, and I had actually companies providing, hey, if we do something, we would be able to That's probably the stress level where I say no, thank you. But you should never say no, because then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a difficult balance.
Yeah. So, but that's it. SwedenCPP. 10 years, but we will see. We've lost a few members to other programming languages. From some I know they use others, but they still come.
Yeah, exactly. That's a secret with meetups as well. You can go even if you don't work in the language all the time. It's always interesting stuff to hear and learn.
I would be interested to see a lot of young people also come.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're young, you have different interests. So it's when you go after work, you don't want to have a family at home that needs you.
No, they want to go somewhere cool and talk about Haskell or something.
Yeah. So then meetup. So 10 years SwedenCPP, still an option.
Yeah, still going strong.
To visit. I think we are I could claim to be the most active non-commercial user group probably over this time in the world. Yeah. I don't see another one active. And then this is also dangerous because do I really want to stop with this?
Exactly.
Because frankly speaking, sometimes I think I could use the time for something else.
Yeah, sure.
There could be a time where I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But so far we continue, and I have planned already until August. So until August, I always plan 3-4 months ahead to know where we will be and with whom.
Yeah. Do you know the speakers as well that early?
Yeah, speakers as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I had just a little bit a rough time for the upcoming event in April because we were discussing with a speaker from another country. And then their management said, probably not in this budget, maybe in the next budget in last moment. And it used to be no problem with the budget, but now it is a problem. And why now when when I already had basically the program point, right?
Yeah.
So this, but maybe then, until August, I'm pretty set up.
Cool.
There is always space because when we have the situation also that people come and say, hey, Harald, I have this talk to give at this next conference. Can I make a rehearsal? And then I change the program anyway to get this in. Yeah. And then people get the conference talk actually at SwedenCPP first, which is awesome.
It's very cool.
So I'm happy when I can provide this possibilities, and I think this possibility should always exist. The question is, shall it exist in the framework with SwedenCPP Pro partners, and the video recording and so on, or shall I go back to more nerdy stuff where we meet where the things is and there are no expectations? And
it's a very good question. All the options are possible.
It's a little bit when you start to become too professional, then going a step back becomes difficult.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, once you've taken that one step up, you want to keep going up and not step back down. Yeah, it's super interesting stuff. So glad you could come on the show again.
Thanks for spending so much time with me.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. Big thanks for listening to Kodsnack. If you want to support us, leave a review in your podcast player of choice, or just tell someone who might like the podcast about an episode. And don't forget you can come hang out in our Slack channel. A link is in the sidebar right on our website at kodsnack.se. Once again, big thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.